Well, good morning, everyone. Greta Latona, 810 Jersey Girl Mornings, and very excited to welcome a very special guest to Jersey Girl Mornings. It's John Leone, who's a Broadway veteran who originated a role in the original cast of Jersey Boys. He's been in Les Miserables and film and TV credits, most recent seasons, Only Murders in the Building, opposite Meryl Streep and Martin Short, and been in The Friend with Bill Murray and Naomi Watts. Why am I telling you this? So you can get a real sense of the level of talent on this production that is going to be starting tomorrow and running through the beginning of August in Centenary Stage. And he's here to tell us all about it. John Leone, how are you, sir? Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
And this production is something that's a little bit different. Can you tell us about it? It's called Closer Than Ever.
Closer Than Ever is it's sometimes referred to as a song cycle, but it's the songs all tell stories. So there's very limited dialogue, but each song, and it's being performed by, as it is traditionally, 2 men, 2 women, and there are solos, there are duets, there are trios. The 4 of us sing together frequently. Each song has a little story within itself, and then as a whole, the themes are about things that we can all relate to. Relationships, love and loss, growing older, watching our children grow and the experience of that, dating later in life, and so on and so forth, so that each one is individual, but there are themes that run throughout, and it's a 2-act show, and it's just the most charming, moving, entertaining, funny. It has just elements of everything. It was a tremendous hit in its off-Broadway run years ago, which I saw as a young actor. It played at the Cherry Lane.
Yeah, I remember.
It's done very frequently. Oh, yes, it was a big hit. It's been 2 versions of it as Broadway cast albums. Just wonderful stuff.
And, it's very relatable to the audience. They're going to relate to the different themes behind it because we've all been through that, in some point of our life. And
Yes.
You're right?
Absolutely. Like, for instance, I have a song that's called Stop Time. When I first heard it, I thought, stop time, what do you mean, like dancing? And no, it's stop, time, and it's about, the first verse is about my child has just been born. He looks up at me, how his smile melts my heart. I want to say stop time. Don't move on. Then the child is 2 and he keeps growing. Birthdays fly, 7, 8, 9, 10. But and then the final part is, for he's growing and he has to go. Our kids move on. I have kids now in college. This is lands very profoundly to me.
It's so true.
Examples like that. That's just one of my favorites.
I've got tears in my eyes because I'm a first-time grandma, just 13 days old, the poor child.
It's amazing.
So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
How wonderful. Yeah, it's about, we all can relate to that, about how the time how did that happen? How did that fly by? But we're so happy and proud, in the circle of life, I guess.
Yeah, and looking back, you look back at all you've done and all you've accomplished. And then, as you say, your children are grown, in college. And that is like kind of the goal, is to like grow them to be good humans and go into the world. That's kind of what you do, and you watch from the sidelines. And even though you're part of their life, you still get to a point where you can only advise and they have to make their own decisions,
God knows I'm going through that now. Yes, you have to let them fly and move on. And you hope that they're just good, kind people. And I feel that way about my sons.
Oh, then
I'm happy to say, yeah.
And then it's a blessing because, that's all you want in there is them to be happy and to be good humans. You can't ask for any more than that.
Can't. So that's the goal for all of us, yeah. And that definitely Closer Than Ever is, glad we mentioned that way. That's what the show is about.
Yeah. Because it's not just a show. It's something that you feel.
Positivity.
Right. Something that you can feel.
And the journey to get there. Yeah.
We're speaking with John Leone, who has got a impressive resume from Broadway to film, and now will be in closer than ever at the Centenary Stage. CentenaryStageGo.org. You can get your tickets for that. It starts tomorrow, opening night. And, you have such an impressive resume. I just have to say, going back in time, looking back, was there a role that changed your life where you knew, hey, I'm going to make a living doing this?
When I first thought, I could, this could be something that I could make a living doing, I guess I got my first Broadway show. I was 26. It was Les Mis, and it was, it was life changing. Leading up to that, I played the great actor Jose Ferrer. I played his son in a musical called Fanny at Paper Mill. So I actually was in New Jersey. I guess you could call that my biggest early break, because it was this wonderful theater, as I'm sure your listeners know, the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn, and a lot of people from New York came to see it, and I had a good part. And then the people from Les Mis saw that, and they asked me to come in and sing for them. And then the next thing I knew, there I was on Broadway playing Marius in Les Miserables, and that just changed everything, because I got to enter the Broadway community and to be in a show that was so fantastic and a long run. I've had some pretty good luck with shows that ran for a long period of time. So I did Les Mis for 2 years. I did the national tour of Titanic the musical for almost 2 years. I did Jersey Boys for almost 4 years. So that's doesn't happen too often. And, at least that helped pay for mortgage and,
to get the bills paid.
You don't make a fortune, but yeah.
But you love what you're doing, and it's a different kind of a lifestyle, basically. And you've been with seasoned performers. You're a seasoned performer yourself, and you've been alongside people like Meryl Streep, Martin Short, Bill Murray, Naomi Watts, among others. And what I was impressive.
Last year, Only Murders in the Building. That was a thrill to do that. To do a scene with, or a couple of scenes with Martin Short and Meryl Streep, and to be, and there's a lot of improvisation on that show. It's kind of a cult following now, but it's very popular in certain circles, and it's kind of a murder mystery show. Each season they solve a murder.
I love it
in the building that they live.
I love it,
and it has serious moments. And Martin Short and Meryl Streep improvising, especially with Marty. When you do television, sometimes you get there and you realize it's letter. Word for word, to the letter, you have to say it like this. A lot of times I play a cop or a doctor or a judge or a lawyer, and it has to be a certain way. Within the first take in the scene with Martin Short, I realized he was completely off the script, and I just rolled with it. And once I realized in the first moment that they were fine with that, we went to town just kind of improvising and making things up. And then later on in the part with Meryl Streep, and the two of them are very close, on and off screen, and to listen to Meryl Streep kind of discussing an acting beat, an acting moment with Martin. We call him Marty, with Marty. And but I was there too. So she said, Marty, I remember 2 episodes ago, you were looking out the window as almost as if it was a stained glass window, and I think that relates to this moment that you're remembering now. And then and then Meryl Streep turned to me and she said, I don't know, what do you think, John?
Oh, wow.
What do I think, Meryl? That was a thrill. So I got to discuss acting with Meryl Streep and Martin Short, which I love, and I teach acting. I'm
yeah, and that's what I was going to say. You learn yourself. You're ongoing because, it's a craft that you learn all the time. And some people keep those cards close to their chest. You don't do that. You share your experience and you share your knowledge by teaching different voice acting and audition techniques and things like that. And people can benefit from that. So let us know your website so people can get in touch with you for that.
JohnLeone.net. And during, I got further into my career, and I would be backstage or in between shows, and another actor might be preparing an audition, and I found that I was good at advising people on how to prepare for the audition and so on. And I went to a famous school as sort of my graduate school after I graduated from Hofstra. I got a degree in theater, and I got a separate degree in vocal performance and music. And but then I went to 2 years for this very famous school in the city called the Neighborhood Playhouse, graduated from there. And then later I went back and trained again to get my teaching certificate of that technique. And during Jersey Boys, I would teach a class in between the matinee and the evening performance. The matinee would finish. I would run just around the corner. There was a studio, and I would teach class until 7:15, and then run back. But that was an ongoing acting class. But for vocal technique and preparing an audition, that's a separate skill that I have, and it's another way to help make a living, but also to kind of give back from what I learned. I had wonderful teachers when I was young. So
wow, that's wonderful.
And now, in fact, our the director of Closer Than Ever is a fantastic teacher, Sarah Louise Lazarus, who was a Broadway actress in her early days, and then she became a director, and she's taught at NYU for years. Oh, God, probably decades. Very well-known teacher and director in the dramatic world and the cabaret world in New York City. So we're really blessed with that. So as she's directing us, she's also, giving her teaching advice, or her showing us the techniques she knows as a teacher, especially in terms of the way these songs are, dramatic moments within song,
So that's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And we're going through all this, and thank you for sharing with our audience, because this is the caliber of the performers that are going to be and are at Centenary Stage. And it is Closer Than Ever, starts up tomorrow. You can get tickets to centenarystageco.org. And before I let you go, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure for joining us here, John.
Literally, absolutely my pleasure as well. Thank you so much for having me.
And
come to the show. Everybody's going to love it.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for taking the time, and enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.